The city of Minneapolis preparing for outrage over the Derek Chauvin case. Jury selection for the Derek Chauvin case began on March 8th, on Monday, and the process of jury selection is expected to take 2 to 3 weeks, with the actual trial proceedings over Derek Chauvin's murder of George Floyd beginning on March 29th. Derek Chauvin is being tried for second-degree murder as well as second-degree manslaughter. And as the date gets closer for Derek Chauvin's court case, Minneapolis is hunkering down. I'm sure you guys have seen some of these images here of the city being boarded up, of barricades being erected in the area of the courthouse with razor wire, large fences. Some of them look like they're about 10 feet high. And there's a lot of speculation on the internet of these barricades, of the city being boarded up, of more police being in the area, that many people are speculating that the city already knows how this trial is going to go. People are suggesting that Derek Chauvin is either going to be acquitted or is not going to be receiving the sentencing that most people would feel is just. For murdering, an innocent man would be prison time. But what I wanted to share with you guys, and maybe you have seen this article circulating, is that the city of Minneapolis is going to be hiring 6 social media influencers ahead of the trial, with the idea being that these social media influencers will push a city-approved message and help to prevent riots. Now, like I said, a lot of people looking at these barricades, looking at buildings being boarded up, looking at an increased police presence, coupled with the fact that the city is hiring social media influencers, people are seeing this and I believe rightfully assuming that the city knows that this trial is already a foregone conclusion and that the public is not going to like that conclusion. And I actually have an article here from CBS Minnesota Local where it says, the city says the 6 influencers will be intentionally targeting Black, Native American, Somali, Hmong, and Latinx communities with their messaging during the trial. Each influencer will be paid a flat fee of $2,000. And in this article, I have a full statement from the Minneapolis City Council. Quote unquote, the city is collaborating with social media partners to share public information with cultural communities and to help dispel potential misinformation during the upcoming trials of the former officers involved in the killing of George Floyd. The goal is to increase access to information to communities that do not typically follow mainstream news sources or city communication channels or who do not consume information in English. It's also an opportunity to create more two-way communication between the city and communities. So a few things in this article here. 1, to help dispel potential misinformation during the upcoming trials. Misinformation. Okay. What sort of misinformation would people be getting that's going to cause them to riot? And also, the goal is to increase access to information to communities that do not typically follow mainstream news sources or city communication channels. So, they're hiring 6 social media influencers, presumably with ethnic backgrounds, to communicate with the ethnic communities in the Minneapolis area, right? To dispel misinformation and to get information out to those who don't normally follow mainstream media. I mean, just taking a quick look at the city of Minneapolis's message here, they're trying to increase their broadcast for the official paradigm, for the official message. Right. And one can imagine that if they give a lenient sentence on Derek Chauvin and the other officers, it's hard to say what that's going to look like at this time. Will there be a lack of a conviction? Will they be acquitted? Will they give them a lenient sentence? To me, it sounds like they know that that's going to be the case. Right. And I'm not saying that's some conspiracy and they've all plotted in back rooms and smoke-filled rooms. It's just that they know that because police have unbridled power in this country, that they know that it's damn near impossible to get a police officer convicted for a violent crime. They kind of have taken a look at this case, have taken a look at this evidence, and they know, like, oh shit, people aren't going to like this because there isn't going to be any justice. And so they're hiring these social media influencers in order to cover their ass, in order to spin it to these communities like, oh, I know we didn't get what you wanted, we didn't get actual justice, but at least something's getting done. And the plain fact of the matter is, this is fucking disgusting. I mean, and it's a prime example of how mainstream media, corporate media, official channels have weaseled their way, or are beginning more and more to weasel their way into the free flow of information on the internet. They know that nobody watches the bullshit on mainstream media. They know that everybody knows it's bullshit. So they're trying to, hire influencers and use internet media marketing in order to push that official narrative. Because I can tell you right now, like I've said, they know that this trial is not going to go in a way that the public wants. And it looks like Keith Ellison is the main prosecutor in this trial against Derek Chauvin. And even he here said, I have a quote from him, "Trying this case will not be an easy thing," Ellison said last June. "Winning a conviction will be hard." Okay, and that's coming from the prosecutor. And you can say what you want about Keith Ellison or whatever, but the judicial infrastructure is not there to properly punish or get justice over officers who have hurt civilians. It's just not there. I mean, that's literally what qualified immunity is. That's what it's there for, is to cover the ass of officers who go above and beyond in fucking violence and oppression. It's to cover the ass of officers that are corrupt and that are violent and that hurt citizens. I actually have a quote here for you guys from a local activist named Toussaint Morrison, who kind of talked about what the city is doing about hiring these social media influencers in order to cover the public Derek Chauvin trial. And he said, quote unquote, "The key word here is city approved. What do you think the message is going to be? It's going to be pro-city. It's going to be anti-protest." And I think that quote there from Toussaint is just on the money. It's exactly right. They know shit's going to hit the fan. They know that this trial isn't going to go the way, and the people's going to respond to it. And they're going to get out in the streets, and the city of Minneapolis ain't trying to have a repeat of the events of last summer. And I have another quote here from Sarah Davis, the executive director of the Legal Rights Center in Minneapolis. She said, quote unquote, "It really reflects that they know there's a lack of trust between community and city institutions. And that's real. Let's be honest about that. That's real. What we're really trying to do is help folks understand what they're going to be seeing and answer questions about that." Again, that quote there is pretty on the money. The people of Minneapolis, and really the American public in general, not only doesn't trust mainstream media, doesn't trust official channels of information, they don't trust the police. The American people no longer trust our judicial processes. And they know that people are sick and tired of this kind of shit. They're sick and tired of the sort of thing that has happened to George Floyd, that has happened to countless tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of African Americans in the United States. And they know that they're not going to take it anymore. The events of the protests and the rioting that happened surrounding BLM last summer is a quite clear message that this issue isn't going away, and people are not hesitant about getting out in the streets about it. And look, I don't know how this trial is going to go. I have no idea. I'm not in the back rooms. I'm not part of the jury. I'm not the prosecutor. I'm not the defending attorney. I don't know. But we've seen plenty of experts talk about it. We have this quote here from Keith Ellison saying that getting a conviction is going to get hard. I think the writing is on the wall. The city knows it. The judge knows it. The prosecutors and other attorneys know it, that people are not going to get the real decision that they want. They're not going to get a decision from this court case that actually institutes justice. And the city knows that people are going to be pissed, and they know that we're probably going to get a repeat of what happened last summer. And if we don't get real justice on this case, I hope that's the fact of the matter. We've talked in previous videos about once spring comes around, once summer comes back around, once this COVID vaccine starts getting out and getting circulated, that I hope to God that people get back out in the streets and keep fighting and keep protesting and keep shutting shit down, because that's the only way we're going to get any real change in this country. That's the only way Black Americans are going to get justice. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for you. I just wanted to share this with you. You know, the Derek Chauvin case is scheduled for March 29th. It looks like the city is getting ready for a bad reception to whatever the case ruling may be. They're hiring social media influencers to try to placate the public, especially amongst ethnic communities. And I just see all these things coming, and it's not looking good for the city of Minneapolis again. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. What do you guys think about the Derek Chauvin case? Do you think we're going to get justice? Do you think he's going to get acquitted? What sort of charges do you think will be brought forward? What's the evidence going to look like? Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. But until next time, guys, as always, I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon. Bye.